Yeah. So you can see that the word test is in the middle. The word test is in the middle, right? So is with the test. A word test in the middle, and at the right side you can see that this is right. So this is quite close to test, right? But you know that this is word is not really playing its role in meaning making process, right? But if we see that there is a word conducted, which is at number 3, and if you can see that there is another word continuous, right? So you know that makes some sense. However, these words are quite far from test, right? So these words actually, however they are for, is an example of the friends, those who are sitting far from me. But the eye contact make you understand that what is going on. And sometimes people are sitting really close to you, but you cannot make them understand your point. Similarly, this happens with the words as well. For example, some words are really close, they do not really play their role in meaning making, but some words are formed, but they play their role in meaning making process. So the words that are close, these are called adjacent collocates. These are called adjacent collocates. The words that are close to node word test, for example, test is close to is a adjacent collocate, and the words that are far from the node word, for example, continuous, conducted, change, read out. So these are the distant collocate. Now you can understand the idea what is distant and distant collocate.
Are they words or verbs?
Words. Alright. Okay, our next term is concordance. The full view of this screen is called concordance, right? And one line is called concordance line. When I talk about concordance, it means that I am talking about all the lines. But if I talk about concordance line, it means that I am just talking about one line, particular line, right? And the word that is in the center, you can see this is called test, right? So this is node or node word. Collocation we have already discussed. Window or adjacent. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, now the association of words is not easy, right? Words are associated, and this association may be complex. And these kinds of graph you can also make. We will learn that in my next session. This is called graph, and this whole picture is called collocation network. Now you can see that there are different arrows, right? For example, you can see here that this word court is in the middle, and you have different words. For example, disqualify. You have Sharif, you have Prime, you have Nawaz. So this is not really a political post. Right? So you can see that there are different relationships and there are different pictures on your screen. So these relationships also show that words are closely associated. For example, you can see arrow, court, disqualify. You can see that court, disqualify, Nawaz, Sharif, Prime Minister, right? So this is how software help you in finding out the relationships of different words without looking at the text, right? You do not need to read the whole text. You just need to look at the graph, or you just need to look at the word list. You just need to look at the specific words the software may extract for you, or the important collocates, and you can easily find out the relationship of different words. We will work on that in detail in my other session. So I'm not really getting into it.
And the color coding also that.
Yes, color coding is also important. We'll discuss it. Now, this is again an extract from CQP web. If you find out the relationship of different words through its frequency, so sometimes that frequency is not really important. This is adjusted. He's trying to. Sometimes frequency is not really important. For example, if you see that there is a word bachelor and the most frequent word is bachelor, yeah, a bachelor. So sometimes the words that are frequently occurring with the word, they really do not play their role in meaning making process, right? So this actually same thing happened to us in our world as well. Sometimes people meet us regularly every day, but they are not really important for us. But sometimes um, you met someone once a year, after 2 years or 3 years, they are important for you. So this also happens with the words as well. Sometimes um, words are occurring most of the times with the other words, but they are not really important. This I can explain with this association. For example, you have a word bachelor in the middle. Okay? And this is a graph that shows the relationship of words that are closely associated. Now you can see that this bachelor is related to lonely. So we can say lonely bachelor. Okay? This bachelor is related to old bachelor. So this bachelor is related to flat, right? This may be flat bachelor. No. Or bachelor living in flat. If you will see the whole picture, the whole picture or the whole, this is actually related to mathematics as well. You can see that there are different shapes here. So this is triangle, bachelor living in flat. If I'll hide this living, so you will observe that flat bachelor. So this is how some words or the collocates that are important in meaning making process, they help you in understand different meanings. Similarly, there are other shapes as well. For example, Bachelor of Science and Arts, that is related to degree. So this is how you can use software to find out the relationship of different words. This is just now word list. Another important concept in corpus linguistics is word list. We can also develop word list through different software. These software may be, used to extract different words that are occurring frequently in the corpus, or if you will see the frequency-wise distribution, you can see that there are some functional words or prepositions. These are at the top. For example, of, and, in, to, on. But sometimes these functional words are not really important. So mostly in corpus linguistics, you concentrate on the meaning. Content words. Right? You concentrate on content words. So corpus linguistics also allows you to find out the words, content word or functional words, both, by using different software. Now, because this session we are also going to cover corpus building. So, if you talk about corpus, so corpus is data in bulk. We have already discussed that. So, this is just not the number of words only. For example, if I am going to compile a corpus of Express Tribune, I collected the data, right? And this collection is related to February, March, and April. Now, what problem usually occur when we collect the data? When we collect the data, we face the problem of availability of the data, that how much data is available in different months. For example, if I intend to concentrate on COVID-19 only, there is a possibility that in the very beginning of the period, there is a great hype, and most of the newspaper editorials or articles published on that specific topic. But after a specific period of time, there is a decline in the publication of that specific topic. Now it is very difficult for you to collect the data on that specific idea. So when we were collected the data in February, um, there were mostly publications related to international scenarios, and we were not talking about ourselves. As the time passed by, we started talking on our situation. So in March and April, we got the data that is really related to our scenario, our situation. So this problem occur usually, but you need not to manipulate the data. You cannot add the data on your own. If there is a natural publication of decrease or increase in natural data is increasing or decreasing naturally, so you cannot manipulate it on your own by adding the data yourself, right? So that is unethical. You will add the data on your own to manipulate the results. If the publication is less, so you can write down that only the eight research articles are published or eight editorials are published. Yeah, there is a less data related to any topic. So you will have to consider that you should be honest. And for example, if you are collecting the data from different newspapers, so in political scenarios, you must have observed that different channels and different newspapers talk about different um, point of views about the same subject. For example, if we talk about our political scenario, some channels will talk about Pakistan People's Party, other may talk about PMLN, or they may have different stance. So when you will be building corpus, you will build the corpus separately. For example, the nation, you will make separate folder for that. If you are talking about another newspaper, the news, or any other newspaper, you will make separate folder for every newspaper, and you will analyze the data separately. You cannot give your stance collectively. When you will be giving your stance collectively, there may be results that may not be valid because you may be getting different stance. So my question is that when we are going to write a proposal, at that time we are not aware that how much data is available during this given day. So like I have given in my proposal the time duration of 1 year, 2023 till 2024. But now when I started the collection of data, I have realized that I need to go back like in 21 for the collection of data. So can we do this? Yes, you can extend your time. Time duration can be extended later on. Yes, time duration can be extended. Now, as I already told you that this is the word list that we have compiled by collecting this data, right? So when we compiled the data, we extracted a word list by using software. So you can see here there are three columns. First column is related to the editorials that are published in February. The other is related to March, and the third column is related to April. Now, my point here is by just looking. Okay, by just looking at the word list. For example, if you'll see here that in February you have China is at the top. You have health, you have people, you have coronavirus. So there are different words, right? Now, by just looking at the word list, you can see that there is a word Wuhan, there is a word virus, there is a word global. It means that in our newspaper editorial, they are mostly talking about the world. They are mostly talking about the international scenarios. They are talking about Wuhan, that the virus has been initiated from there. But as we proceed further, we have started talking about Pakistan, right? We started talking about health. We started talking about pandemic, right? We started talking about lockdown. We started talking about our economy. So this is how you see that just by looking at the word list, you can find out what is going on in the newspaper editorial month-wise. Similarly, when you will see here, April, you can see again that we are talking about crisis now. The situation is getting grave. We have started talking about our economy. We have started talking about social. At the same time, we have also started talking about global public. So this is how, just looking at the word list, we can analyze that what is it in the newspaper, or what is in the text. We are not actually reading the text, but we can see that what is in the text and what is this text about, and it is also called aboutness of the text. Acha ji, can proceed further.
The numbers given in the bracket means that
Frequency of words.
frequency of words, and it is done by any software, I guess, right?
Yes.
All right. For instance, there is an article related to COVID-19. The China would be, I mean, China is a word which occurred like 41 times. All right.
My question is software itself gives us the list of the words, and do we need to ask software to give us the frequency of these words?
No. Uh, Software actually gives you the frequency of all the words, right? Content words. Software is not, biased. Software is not biased. Software will give you all the words.
We just have to upload the data.
You have to upload it.
And software gives us the detail of content words and function.
Both.
Can I ask?
Yes,
I
please.
think that's also number of the words. The frequency is as it has lessened in April of people. That gives us an idea. The focus has changed.
Yes. Frequency of
This
the
is
words in
what
the
we have
corpus.
to analyze.
Yes. You can analyze through the frequency that what is going on, or what does a newspaper intend to portray. Actually, this is a newspaper discourse, what they want to convey. If they want to convey that there is stress, there is anxiety, if they are using the vocabulary that is related to war, like, for example, frontline soldiers, right?
For the nurses.
Yes. So frontline soldiers. So this kind of vocabulary is usually related to war, right? So in that situation, rather to use the words that are relaxing, or that are related to peace of mind, we started using the words
More depressing.
that is more depressing.
Is there a way to make it more intelligent by defining the limit of collocation in some way? For example, let's say the word people is salient in February as well as in April. But in February, it is collocating with, say, sick people. mostly, but we don't know what the salience of people in February suggests. But we come to March, and the word people is being used frequently, but let's say in a very different context to suggest that people are acting irresponsibly. So, is there a way for any software to intelligently sort these frequencies according to different collocations?
Yes. When you will click, sometimes if you intend to dig deeper, what is it about? For example, if you intend to explore a word, China, you will just browse a word and software will give you all the collocates and concordance lines related to China. And then you can dig deeper into the word or into the situation or into the context. Yes, you can do that. Simple answer is yes.
Is it possible that the software can draw holographic graph from the data we have?
Yes. Now, there is another example this is actually related to um, the language thing, language of newspaper editorials. Now, this is related to uh, literature. And by the way, you would be surprised to see that this research is published in 2002. When we were analyzed the data manually, and Sculptor has worked on Shakespeare's play Romeo and Juliet, and he pointed out that just looking at the vocabulary of the words or the keywords, you can find out about the characters. Right? For example, if we look at the words used by Romeo, so you can see here that this is the word beauty. He used the word beauty, he used the word blessed, he used the word love, he used the word mine. So it looks like that he is more romantic.
He's more having a great sense of aesthetics.
Yes, he has great sense of aesthetics. Eyes, maybe eyes are more important for him. So that's why he has used the word eye. If we look at the words used by the Juliet, so if he has used if, so it looks like that she is more uncertain about the things. She is indecisive. Similarly, she used word, she used or. That looks that she is not really clear about the things. My, I. So when you use the words like my, I, so these are the self-centered words. And when you use I discourse or my discourse in any conversation, so it means that that conversation is nothing to do with others. That is useless for others. But if you will use we, our, so everyone is getting benefit. So if you will use the discourse you, our, we, so the other people will started taking interest.
Ma'am, how these words are arranged if not by frequency?
Sorry,
Like, what's the sequence of their arrangement? Like,
they are this sequence. These are not the sequential arrangements. They just have written down the words.
so, we should focus on the words which are more frequential in the text because
Actually, these are the keywords.
okay.
For extracting the keywords, there is another method. You will have to make the reference corpus, and after that, you can extract keywords. But my point is just looking at the frequency of the keywords. Keywords are the unique words used by the writer, right? By just looking at the unique words and their frequency, you can somehow got the idea. I'm not a literature person, but still I can get the idea what kind of the person
Means these are
Romeo
not the
is.
collocations.
Sorry?
These are not the collocations.
These are not the collocations. These are the unique words used by Shakespeare in Romeo and Juliet.
And when we add the keywords in the software, then the software gives us the details.
So,
Acha ji, now
ma'am, I have a question. For instance, the words, taken from Romeo and Juliet. Those words are helping us to see the character, how the character is. We get the idea, right? The purpose of
how
using
the character is behaving in different
or
situations.
how the character has been portrayed.
Actually, these are only words, right? You can also find out its concordance lines,
Right.
where these words are used, which in which situations, and even you can also find out the collocations or the words that are occurring in its vicinity.
So this sort of activity could help in for like textual analysis kind of thing.
Discourse analysis,
Discourse
textual
analysis.
analysis, yes,
All right.
of any literary text as well as the text related to language.
This data later on we do interpret that how it has been portrayed in the text. Yes.
Now, as we are going towards corpus building, so you can look at the distribution of the corpus. This is brown corpus. You can see that there are different text types, right? These are the text types. And you can see here that there is a section on press reportage, press editorials, press reviews, and skills and hobbies. So these are the different genres. And if we look at the next column, you can see that number of texts. Now, if you see these columns, you will clearly see that the number of texts are not equal. So it depends upon the availability of the data. You need not to be overwhelmed that you will get the text. For example, if you're getting the text of press report is 44, you cannot manipulate the data that the newspaper editorials will also provide you 44 text. It depends upon its publications and the availability of the data. Similarly, if you see the proportion means number of words. For example, number of words may be more or less. It's not in your hand. Sometimes there is a possibility that the writer of the newspaper or editorial may write 100 words, and the next editorial or the next article or the next blog may be 50 words, right? So there is a possibility there may be 44 texts. Proportion is 8.8. Right? So if you have one thesis that is of nearly PhD thesis 90,000 words, one thesis, and if you talk about research articles, there may be 50 research articles or 20 research articles or 30 research articles, and the data may be 100,000 words. So my point here is that your data should be representative. Sometimes you have the data of emails. For example, email data is, if you talk about a lengthy email, that may be 300 words. That is a lengthy email, very lengthy email. But if you talk about a brief message, that may be 50 to 100 words. Right? So it means that the data is not in your hand and it depends upon the genre or the discipline you are working on. And similarly, if you talk about tweets, one tweet may be of one line, right? And if you are going to collect tweets in millions, the size of the data will be smaller, right? But if you will be analyzing thesis, the data will be in bulk. Now, there are three columns, 1, 2, and 3, right? So I want to add one more column here that is related to number of words. I think that is also mandatory when you are talking about compilation of a corpus. For example, there is text type 44. They have also talked about proportion. So, number of words. This is another column. You should also add when you will be specifically writing down the methodology of your thesis or the research paper.
And how we are going to calculate for this proportion of the corpus?
When you will make your whole corpus, obviously, for example, this is specifically for larger projects. For example, you are working on academic discourse, so you can write down that there are 8 books published. So you have written down 8, and proportion means how many number of words that book part is having. Similarly, if you are a specific portion newspaper article, sorry, research articles, so you will point out that, for example, 18% or 75% or 90%, there is a possibility that if you talk about larger data or a huge corpus, so most of the part contains books because they have more number of words than research articles or others.